All right, so apparently our video cut off for part one.
What are you doing?
So apparently our video cut off for part one, so now we have to make this a little or if we can't splice it together. So if it's 2 parts, we're sorry. Give us a bunch of heat in the comments, please, about it. Where we left off, we were talking about Paul Heyman. We were talking about his epic promo, how it was basically, Undertaker couldn't get over the loss. But it was more about Paul Heyman, once again, just being Paul Heyman. And what I really liked is what we started to talk about is when you can make Brock Lesnar crack during a segment. And typically Lesnar's pretty good. He's pretty stone-faced. Mm-hmm. And when Heyman started speaking in tongues or whatever the hell he was saying, and Lesnar just looked over and just started cracking up. It was one of those, I really wish that that Lesnar had a mic so he could have went, say something stupid, Paul, like he did the one time. That was like that moment right there. Mm-hmm. Like he just looked over and couldn't believe what he was saying.
Yeah, I have no idea what Paul Heyman was actually doing. Was he speaking in tongues? Was it...
At that point,
like
I don't know.
Italian?
Why would it be Italian?
I don't know because it sounded like something from The Exorcist, and isn't that
well? That's I thought.
Italian?
Well, yeah. I don't know. You're talking to the wrong Yeah, I don't know.
Latin maybe.
Latin maybe. I don't know. Whatever it was funny. We were all too busy, laughing in this living room to really. Once it got broken down, I kind of fell off the couch. I'm not gonna lie. And then when you see Brock breaking down like that, so Sam. Did this, if people had doubts before, and we didn't have anything regarding Lesnar and Undertaker last week at all, other than, vignettes from the week before. Mm-hmm. So now we haven't seen Taker for 2 weeks. Did this sell it, if it needed to be even sold more, did this put butts, it's sold outside, but did this put butts in the seats, so to speak, I guess, at home, watching on the WWE Network?
Well, Paul Heyman will always put butts in the seats. No, yeah, I guess it got me a little more fired up for it than what I have been. Not seeing them last week kind of, I guess, forgot about it, or it got just put on the back burner. This really got me pumped for it. Like our friend that came over that really hasn't been into wrestling, he got pumped for it. So did I. It was a really good promo, and Paul Heyman always delivers. I don't know why I'm surprised.
And we knew, and it was the 10 o'clock hour, which was the perfect time to have it. That's when I thought they'd have it, and because that's usually the money spot. It really is. That's the Heyman spot. They should start calling it the Heyman spot.
That's when they've been having the John Cena Owens spot for the past couple weeks.
Correct. Yes, you were correct.
And so that's why whenever Paul Heyman came out, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, typically, yeah, you are right about that. But leading up to WrestleMania, it was usually you could have banked on like 10 o'clock every week. You knew it was Heyman time. It's like when Hannibal Buress does his skit about being in New Orleans and running a parade at 6:30 being Hannibal time. You knew Heyman was like your 10 o'clock spot. Or 3 out of 4 Mondays, you knew Heyman was going to be, in that lead up to WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. So, but they needed it for that, for that particular program though. So, backstage we have a Stardust promo saying Neville won't be my hero, so who will? Once again, calling out Stephen Amell. They show that Stephen Amell did respond. Amell responding on Twitter by saying that he will be at Raw next week.
I'm so excited. Arrow.
I just want to point out I liked that you just did something that AJ Lee made fun of on Raw, talking about how catty women do a certain thing while you're wearing your AJ Lee shirt.
I don't care.
Hypocrite. So,
whatever. No, I'm excited. He's been such an advocate of wanting to do something with the company for so long, and I've been waiting for him to do something with the company simply because I want to see him without a shirt off, because I've seen him in Arrow working out. Ripped. But that's neither here nor there.
That's neither here nor there.
But I don't know. I'm excited. I've been waiting so long, and it's just there's been some sort of complication, or they haven't been able to get him in until now.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot. I think sometimes Hollywood and agents, and I think it's a very ticky-tacky world. I mean, Mickey Rourke ran into a bunch of problems, because they were supposed to be that WrestleMania 25 him and Jericho, program, and thankfully we got, fortunately I should say, we got Jericho with Piper and Steamboat and Flair, and I'm losing track of one more. Somebody catch me on that one. For some reason I think it's Snuka, but I know it wasn't Snuka. I was there too, which is bad, but no, I think this is. It's interesting because he's gonna have to, I think, just be in Neville's corner, right? He's not actually just gonna wrestle, is he?
I don't know. I'd like him to wrestle. They can teach him a couple moves, or I mean, he can learn. He might be like a martial artist or something. I'm not sure if he does his own stunts.
Now, the one thing I'll say is that I think this really started from, and I could be wrong, but I think last year before the NFL season started, he showed up to a fantasy football draft with a WWE championship. I think, guys, I think this is how it started, and WWE caught wind of it, and that's how probably talk slowly started happening. But I think anytime you have somebody that's in Hollywood. Going to WWE, like their work situation, it's agents feel like it might be a bad move, and I don't know, sometimes it's just people get in the way.
All I'm saying, if they can have Snooki do a match at WrestleMania, they can give me Stephen Amell at SummerSlam.
Well, I think that Stephen Amell and Snooki probably have much different agents, and especially at those times, but I will say this, too. I think that a lot of it had to get put on ice because we do forget that in a time that we're still trying to heal from, Hot Rod's passing, we're still healing over Dusty's passing.
Well, yeah.
And there was those couple weeks there that Stardust was not on TV. So I don't necessarily think it was put on the back burner. I just feel like Stardust needed time to figure out what truly were they going to do. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, no, because I remember being so upset because he showed up at that pay-per-view in the crowd.
Right.
He was just in the crowd, and I thought that was it. I thought he wasn't going to host. He wasn't going to be anywhere on Raw. It was just him in the crowd being basically on Neville's side for the match, antagonizing Stardust from the crowd. And that's what I thought it was just going to be. I didn't think they were going to let him do anything else. So I'm sorry that I'm super excited to see that he's actually going to be on Raw.
I'll say this. I felt like I never in a million years would have said, okay, yeah, that's your next SummerSlam, but you could tell that something's there. There's certain celebrities that they have that are there that that they're going to play off of him a certain way. Hugh Jackman's a guy that anytime he's there, when they had him on, he always gets physical. I think he knocked Dolph Ziggler out last time he was on or something like that. Or no, I think the time after they made up or, kissed and made up or something like that. So, which you probably love too. Let me see, which actually I did too. So they're both good looking dudes. Let me see. So then we had Reigns Ambrose cutting a similar promo as what we saw with the Wyatts and Sheamus. We have Reigns and Ambrose talking. Dean Ambrose saying he's a whole lot of bubblegum after he spits his last piece out of his mouth. Randy Orton shows up, says he wants Sheamus all to himself. One thing I wanted to point out that I forgot to mention earlier, I did like that Sheamus said that Orton is going to get a bro kick from out of nowhere.
He did.
I did like the gimmick infringement because I always love a good gimmick infringement.
That upset me. You don't use from out of nowhere. That's Randy Orton's thing.
Everybody uses that now. What's sad is I think Randy Orton gets off on the fact that everybody uses it.
Yeah, but I just
Cole
don't like
uses
Sheamus.
it. Everybody uses it.
I just don't like Sheamus, so he can go fuck himself.
Oh my god. And again, she's speaking of the character.
Yes, the character.
Because I'm sure once Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
that.
once Ninja Turtles comes out and he's rock steady, she's gonna be like, Sheamus is the man, which we're all probably gonna do.
I'm a nerd. If he does good in a nerd movie, I'm probably gonna love him.
Absolutely. Are you kidding me? All right. So now back to some Divas action we had, and let's just start calling it women's. Hinted as by Paige. Paige flanked by Submission Sorority. The Submission Sorority. I'm not happy about that one.
No.
Versus, not really. Versus Naomi and Team Bad. Paige getting the win over Naomi via the PTO tap out. Sam?
Well, I think it was kind of obvious that she was going over being on Stone Cold's podcast later that night. I thought it was pretty obvious that she was going to pull that off.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It was a really good match. There was one spot where Naomi was on top of the Turnbuckle, yeah.
Ropes,
sorry.
Turnbuckle, thank you.
I wanted to say, I was looking for ropes, you said turnbuckle, whatever. She's on top of the turnbuckles, and she jumped for, what was it, a Samoan splash?
I missed the spot, because again, I think, I gotta stop doing social media, guys, while I'm doing this, because there's little bits and pieces, yeah.
She jumped.
You're the diva here,
She jumped and landed flat on her stomach and face. It looked like it hurt
No, I did see the fallout from that, yeah, it looked rough. It looked rough. I didn't catch
that was like my spot of the night
setup,
simply because I thought that had to hurt. Fall just straight on your face.
But yeah, Paige getting the win. And as my autocorrect obviously on the tablet says, Paige, P-A-G-E. So maybe it was Diamond Dallas Page that got the win tonight. We don't know about it. So hey, who knows? No. But the beautiful Paige getting the win. Now main event time: Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus, the Wyatts. Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns getting the pinfall after a spear on Sheamus. We did see an RKO to Bray Wyatt before this. Very chaotic match. Very chaotic for us to watch because we had a big storm here in Pittsburgh, and satellite kept going in and out.
There was a very good combo of moves at the end. Combination of moves.
Oh, great
sequence. At the very end.
Fantastic sequence. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, were you upset with the main event, or what did you think of this Raw altogether tonight?
Well, because the TV went out because of the rain and stuff, I really didn't get to see most of the match. I saw the ending.
Isn't Pittsburgh grand?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I thought that, last... kind of like the Ronda Rousey fight, the last 30 seconds was really great.
Well, so you're saying... In comparison to Rousey, though, that would mean that only the just first 4 seconds sucked in the other 30 because it was only 34 seconds.
Well, no, I'm just saying,
I get it. I get it. I get it. She's slow on the deadpan tonight, guys. She is slow with this sarcasm tonight. I
just want to take a chair and hit you right on the head.
Now, do you think this was the right main event? I mean, this is... Because to me, this is the predictable main event. When you're going into a SummerSlam, when you're going into a WrestleMania, we're going to probably see another... The main events going forward are either going to be promos, contract signings, or probably tag matches, something to that effect. I can't see any major one-on-one match. I think it's going to be more mixed tag, stuff like this. And not mixed tag, rather, but just mixed up teams, just thrown together, strange bedfellows, if you will. Things like that. So what do you happen to think?
Again, because I really didn't see most of it, it was a good ending to a match.
And that's what's tough about it. And we will not disclose who we have for our cable provider.
Much more I can say about it.
Yeah, but they have the Sunday ticket. So anyway, yeah, the big thing with that, though, I mean, I think we know where to fill in the blanks. This was not, I don't want to say a time filler, but this was just to get everybody just acquainted with each other, get that familiarity a little bit more for SummerSlam, because SummerSlam going to 4 hours now is a big time spot. So Sam, this is something else we discussed earlier on warm-up. Does John Cena wrestle at SummerSlam?
Yeah.
No chance he misses?
No, he has to. Why would he not wrestle at SummerSlam?
I agree. No, I don't think there's a snowball's chance, and you know where that
Why
he's gonna.
Would he not wrestle at SummerSlam? There's no reason.
Because of his broken
to.
nose.
He wrestled the rest of the match with the broken nose. I think now that it's technically realigned and set and all casted up, he can go out and do another one.
And let's face it, and it could break again. And if it does, he'll get reset.
We had Paige talking about it on the Stone Cold podcast about how she got ran over by a car and went and wrestled. Or her mom broke her wrist and she went and wrestled.
Brilliant segue. So while we have a little bit more time, maybe this is good that we got cut into two different sections here. What did you think about the Paige Stone Cold podcast? You were the diva. You love Paige. You're a huge Paige fan. What were some of the favorite stories that she told?
Some of the favorite stories that she told were, let me see. I liked the one where she told about Daniel Bryan the first time she met Daniel Bryan and how her brothers were beating some dude up in the locker room and Daniel Bryan just walked in and was like, oh, British people. Hi, I'm Daniel Bryan, and just went along their way. And then
she said she was
came back again and they were doing something else to the same dude, holding him out of a window 4 stories up, and Daniel Bryan was just like, oh, British people again. And really it was her brothers beating up some dude that tried hitting on Paige. And
it's funny because it's some of our closest friends, people we consider family are from England, and it's like that. No, that's not all British people, but maybe
it was funny.
Just a crew we hang with. No, yeah, it was. I did like that. And what she said, she was 11 at the time.
Maybe.
I think she said she was 11 or 12 at the time, something like that. I think she said she was really young with that one. What else did you like about it?
Let's see. What was another good one? I loved
because you were enthralled. This is one thing I'll say, guys. This girl was, just focused. I've never seen her on one of these podcasts.
I loved the story of her telling Dusty Rhodes, calling him a motherfucker. That was a funny story. And you know, baby girl, she does the best Dusty impression.
The best British Dusty impression, I would have to say. My Dusty is not good.
The best British Dusty.
But he said, baby girl, you're the only one that could get away with doing that. You're the only girl that ever said it. They got away with calling me a motherfucker. You know that. You know.
No, I thought it was a really great interview. I thought it was a really great podcast. It was
good.
It was less of more of kind of on the business side of things, like what's going on, like storyline wise right now, than it has been in the past. Because really, his other podcasts have been about what's going on with the main storyline at the time. Like with having the authority and Vince McMahon. And
I do feel like he tried to go there a couple times, but Paige was, in a way...
It was more personable. It was just two people having conversations. She was telling them stories about her life. And
didn't you get the feeling, too, that Paige was kind of marking out herself the entire time?
Yeah.
Like, you could tell that she was kind of... I mean, and it's not like it's the first time she met him, but you could tell that how... the excitement level. I feel like that you could just see just resonating off the TV.
Well, and she just wrestled a match like half an hour, 45 minutes before that? She went straight from the ring to there.
Yeah, that too.
Her adrenaline was probably pumping.
And
meeting Stone Cold.
And what I loved too was how much both of them had to censor each other. I thought it was such a great... the chemistry with these two is off the charts.
I don't know. I kind of thought that Stone Cold kind of just sat back and let her talk most of the time. Because
she tells a compelling story. And I think that is the biggest thing. And he was asking very good questions, very interesting questions, you know. He was asking questions that, you know, he didn't really want to... He just wanted to let her be the storyteller. You know, tell me about why did you do this, you know, or tell me about it wasn't, well, let's talk this. And then it wasn't to try and find out the why isn't the business this way. Like you said, it wasn't about, it was more a tell-all, like, let's get to know Paige a little bit better. I mean, she's been here, you know, she's been wrestling for 10 years now, 11 years now, however long, 12 years. Let her tell her story a little bit. And coming from a wrestling family, a prestigious wrestling family in England, you know, and it's an interesting story to tell. And I feel like a lot of it... Think about what she saw before she was age 18. She was more cultured before she was the age of 18 than most of the United States of America will ever be in their entire lifetime.
She was a wrestler, bartender, bouncer.
Well, no, but I'm just saying, but traveling and going here and going there. I mean, because that cultures you. When you get to travel the world, it truly cultures you. And not only, I mean, when you just get to meet different people from the world. So when you're having all these, you know, when she was talking about all the wrestlers that would come over, like Jake the Snake, stayed with them for a while, you know, and then
the Snakes.
Yeah, and then so you know they're getting talent that would come and stay with them from all over the world, and that absolutely helps culture you as a person because it helps you see things from a different perspective, you know, and that's the beauty. That's why I love all of our friends in Scotland, England, Wales. I mean, we could name all the countries we party with every WrestleMania. You know, our crew that we love and so dearly, and you know, it's really more international friends, but it's something you really learn a lot about yourself too. And I feel like that's something that Paige at age 18, people are going to say, well, she was immature here or there. Well, listen, everybody, I don't care how old you are, you're immature to a certain degree. Period. Yeah. It's just the way society is. We're ingrained in that now. It's the technology world. They don't want us to be mature anymore. It doesn't sell. But I think Paige had a much higher maturity level and a grasp on... Listen, at age 18, if you would have put me just in Florida and said, here you go, have at it, you're in FCW, just go. I don't know what I would have done. Especially going across the pond, like send me to England? No way.
Yeah, I like that she was like...
They'd be calling me a Yankee bloke sending me back as fast.
She's like, I didn't know I was supposed to pay my taxes. That's what I had Dusty there for.
Yeah, and that's...
Dusty taught me that.
Huge learning lesson, guys, and that's something
the American dream taught her how to pay her taxes.
And listen, anybody... And I think that's something that... I love that you mark on that one. But I think that the greatest thing, and this is something that Dusty has always preached, this is something that, listen, Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters has always preached. If you listen to anything, Kurt Cobain said the same thing. This is, get into the industry that you love, make your money, and save it. You know, and that's the one thing that she said that Dusty really preached was, you know, save your money. Don't think that it's going to be here forever. Save your money. Yeah. And that's something that, guys, you know, no matter anywhere you're at in this business, save your money. Because you never know when it could all be gone. And Paige, I think telling the story about her having scoliosis, too, was very eye-opening.
Yeah, you know? I had no idea about that.
You know, so that legitimately, with a Paige scenario, it could be over, you know, in one day. So, and I think that shows the toughness that Paige has, too.
I'd also like to bring up the fact that Paige said that she'd like to have the Divas title turn into the women's title.
That's what I hinted at earlier. I like that
quietly, she was like, yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
There's a lot she teased the night that I think that, that's why I thought there was something very special about this one, because her and Stone Cold, like I said, they play off each other so well. And you said it best, though. Stone Cold really just sat back. And listen, Paige can tell a hell of a story. Let's face it. I mean, she's such an engaging person.
To her talk.
So humble. And
I like just listening to her talk.
Humble. And listen, to me, that's a role model. I mean, to me, that is a role model. Humility, humility, understanding where you came from, being appreciative, respect. I mean, that to me is absolutely what gets you by in life. And Paige, at age 23, I don't want to say she has life figured out by any means, but from on the Stone Cold podcast, it truly sounded like it.
Definitely.
So, overall, give the podcast a rating.
The podcast A+.
A+, yeah, that's fantastic. I don't know why I did that, guys. Guys, so here's the thing. Thank you so much for watching to Washington. I don't know why I'm saying that. Watching our two-part. If it's two parts, maybe it's one part. It's been a rough night, guys. It's been a long wrestling day, Stone Cold podcast, all kinds of stuff. So, listen, please comment on the videos. We really want to engage you guys a little bit more. We want to have fun with you guys. You guys know this is not the ESPN. We don't take ourselves too serious. This is your Talking Dead style. You know our sense of humor, guys. So
send us your thoughts and questions.
Thoughts, questions, comments. Make them funny. Make them original. I really appreciated the comment too from last week. But Jeremy, again, brother, thank you, because this sparked a great idea for me. Thank you, brother. But another one I liked was Sam, thank you. And it had like the 18:08 minute mark or something. And it was you smacking me because of the Eva Marie thing. Which, honestly, I thought I was going to get a lot worse than that. I got off lucky. But
he did.
But that was the reaction I was going for.
You were lucky it was on camera.
So, yeah.
I couldn't have that recorded.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for me to get that kid off the escalator. Sam, not a year goes by. Not 1 year where parents do not fear the escalator.
Tragedy.
It's a tragedy. Guys, for everybody at WrestlingRumors.net, please subscribe, comment, like our videos, share our videos. Please, guys, engage with us. We want to, get this Thursday show going, because I think it's going to be a lot of fun for us. At WrestleRumors, at Lady Nexus 13, at Adam Daily 13. We will see you next week, guys. Thank you.